Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's give it a couple more minutes so people join in, right? Before we start.
Yeah.
You posted it on the channel, right?
Yeah, I posted the thing. Yeah.
Yep, good. Crypto CR, hey man, welcome. If you got any questions about coins, altcoins, bitcoins, Ethereum coins, feel free to post them up in YouTube chat, right? We will answer them now, during the stream, after the stream, whenever, guys. Just give it a couple more minutes for people to join up. Just waiting for some people, giving them chance to join.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that crypto, don't worry.
Yep. Crypto CR said looking for re-entry on BTC or maybe shorting to rebuy in lower.
We'll talk about
Yes,
that.
we will talk about that in several minutes. Exactly about this subject. Oh, is it early morning? It's actually 1 o'clock here, so I mean 1 p.m. So it's not really that early. It's already after lunch.
It's 1:30.
It's already after lunch, well
We
into
are
the
10,
day.
10 of us. I think we can start the stream, Alex.
Okay. So, like I said, guys,
Come everyone.
if you got any questions, feel free to post them in YouTube chat. We will try to answer them to the best of our abilities, and we can take up with yet another webinar, weekly webinar. Before we move on, please participate in the with what's it called
Chat.
no. I mean the thing you're gonna post on the channel, the 4C channel about.
Yeah. I'll do that tomorrow. We'll post a form for you guys to give us an idea of what is the best time for
our
us.
streams. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for
So please participate. That will be posted tomorrow, so we can do that and just kind of get the best time for you guys possible out there, so we can get the most
maybe
out of every
this time
webinar.
is already the best time, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will just give everybody a chance, right? Yeah, 6:30 in the morning. Well, that is good morning to you, sir. Oh, hey, Gordon. Hey. Okay, so the previous time, let's get started right with our favorite coin, right? BTC, our favorite daddy, right? Basically, the previous stream, right? We stated about this short, and short turned out quite beautifully, right? We got a nice little $400 reaction out of it right from our entry, which was actually 5 to 6%, but we do TP here, so 5%. And then it was obviously it was around after, like we are well after 12th of January, right? This was one of my personal plays, nothing too much because these trades are way too small to take them on a larger scale just because of the slippage, right? I applied this little wick up here, right? So what I basically did is, whoops, yeah, basically did. After I saw this week, and this week is called in the trading world SFP, or you know, swing failure pattern, if you must know. After I saw this week going upwards above this level and then closing down under here, right? I just smashed a market short here of what I've sold around here. So basically, I've sold here around, and it was like 20k, and then I just added this back to my short already, which is the previous price, right? Then I took another profit down here, made the trade break even against obviously, and moved the stop above here, and then I finally got stopped to there, right here. Made a little bit of profit, not much, right? But I was today, to be honest, I was really shocked to get stopped around here, because especially in the high time frames, when you look at structure like this, and even if you compare it to the previous fractals that BTC did, right? So basically, BTC usually, right? If you've noticed, it moves in one singular fractals, right? I mean, these fractals do, like, they're not all fast as this, but as you can see, they're all move in the singular fractals, right? The only thing that some volume came in, on the BTC lately. So I thought that the thing with fractals might change a little bit, because here we already lost a level, right? And compared to this thing, this wasn't an SFP, right? We got a nice little closure under here. So I was pretty safe with my shorts up here, and I was thinking like this is gonna get all the way around to around this point, right? But today I woke up, I was really surprised that we got actually stopped on this short, right? So then Arnaud came later in and told me that CMA futures
Option.
got, options, future options got actually approved, right? In the America, I think it was in Chicago State or something like that, right? They got approved. And I was like, okay, I guess this one got played, I was played on this one by news, obviously, right? Because this would then kind of think about like why this surge would have happened, right? And even if you look at news when they were posted, it's kind of like similar to when it pumped, right? Uh, yes, obviously, another great news for Bitcoin, right? I mean, holy shit! Now, right now, we're getting everywhere in. We're getting some serious adoption right now, right? So, to be honest, if you look at it right now, we could soon be turning bullish on Bitcoin. This is not even a joke, and if we turn
Alex, we can't hear you that well. Can you?
Oh, sorry. Maybe like this. It's
Yeah,
better now?
perfect.
Okay, sorry. Excuse me, guys. So, what was I trying to say? Right now, like I was saying, we could maybe actually be turning bullish quite soon on Bitcoin, right? And maybe, perhaps, even get another bull run, right? But for now, we still have to stay with our recent beliefs on the higher time frames, right? I mean, we are still not bullish just yet, but we are very close right now. And this is kind of like our last area where we sort of stay bearish, right? As I said in the previous streams already, if we close above here, and I'm not talking about something like this, right? I mean, I'm talking something like this, right? Then we will start to focus a lot more on longs and less on shorts, right? Obviously, a lot of 4C trading, a lot of our trades right now are based from the algorithms which were done by Hando, and they're doing amazing job, I gotta say, because lately only in the past few days we had like what 5-6 winners already, right? And it's only Monday. I mean, sorry, it's only Tuesday, right? So it's quite amazing thing what these machines can do, right? Uh, so yeah, from kind of trader's perspective, these would be the levels to look at right now. So I will still short up here when it gets to upside of this area, right? I will still short, because right now I do believe that we can at least expect 8,800, right? Since if we take from the past of the looks when Bitcoin started doing this, right? So again, I'm gonna assume it's going to move in the different, it's going to move in the same fractal as it is right here and here, right? Still, we got a little bit lower volume, but still, from what I've read, we had basically more than 20 billions of volume in one day, right? Which is crazy. So I guess some of the world is jumping back into Bitcoin, right? But I'm still iffy about this news, because they don't actually take in account of how many of that volume is actually faked from various exchanges, because they try to bring people over to their exchange, and they use wash trading to just kind of show that they're super busy, all that juicy stuff, right? Obviously, right? So if you just go to like CoinMarketCap and then you just check out the volume there, it's obviously not going to be correct, because I'm pretty sure from all the exchanges, I don't know, and I'm pretty sure that some of them are dead. And if you just CoinMarketCap, right? You just go here and exchanges, right? Top adjusted the volumes. Like personally, I have never heard from no BKEX, Hcoin, CoinNeal. Okay, I have heard of WeBank, but I know it's a small one. Beaky, I haven't heard most of these exchanges in my life, right? And this is obviously not a true volume. But yeah, okay, they're bringing these numbers now. I know Bilexy, but I'm pretty sure the Bilexy doesn't have 1.7 billion in volume like they have. I mean, I've used this exchange in the past, but there's no way they have so much volume. So you can see a lot of volume is still faked, right? It's not real. But volume is sort of increasing. You can see that even on the charts. You can see it's sort of increasing. And bringing the positive news that is recently we're getting all the kind of different vibes from everybody, right? Are definitely taking into effect as well, right? But I do still think that people on Twitter, everywhere else, are too bullish still. We are not yet at a point when we can say this is gonna be a bull market. We are not, guys. Like this is super important, because if you just if you just if you just look at it to the past, right? You don't even have to make it complicated. Bitcoin did this, right? Did this all the way here and then cracked down, and we are basically doing this. We're going lower, then we test a high, then we go lower, then we test a high, then we go lower, right? It's still following this. We go lower, test a high, we go lower, test a high, we go lower, test a high, right? And then we finally crack down when we leave out of the room, right? And then we get a nice accumulation area that drives everything up here, right? So yes, we're not still yet bullish, because for us to be bullish, we have to break this area, like I said. We have to break this area, have a couple of days, like I'm gonna say maybe a week's worth of closure up here, then we can start looking for some serious longs out there, right? To even some people I see in chats, right? Like CryptoCR looking for entry, BTC or maybe short to rebuy in lower, right? Yes, even if this happens, guys, first thing to do is not to panic. Don't market smash longs out of your world. Don't use all your fiat or whatever you're holding, altcoins, everything. Don't turn everything B2C and just smash longs on big turn, right? Because listen, we probably there's such a high chance that we won't just do like something like this, right? There's a high chance you won't do something like this, right? Because if this was to happen, it will do something like this, test something like this, and then go up, right? So we will possibly, and I'm going to say again, based on the past, and not just this past, right? This the lower past, you will get a chance to re-enter at reasonable levels, okay? It's not going to be the best price as it was here, right? But it's still gonna be a good enough price for you not to be too much of a not to be too much in the minus, or so to say, right? Because obviously, like, you're wasting here $1,000 to $1,500 at best, right? But the upside will be much broader, right? So $1,000 to $1,500 won't matter now for what it's going to be in the future, right? So do not panic. Don't try to enter the market smashers up here, because you will probably, I mean, you're probably gonna miss at least $2,000, $2,000 entry worth of, which you could have entered lower, obviously, right? Uh, so that's still for BTC. I do expect for this to be hit right now, because I mean, if it's done anything in the future, it's basically it went for these levels. SM is here, like it even went a little bit past this level and then closed under it again and stuff. So now we can only expect for this level to be hit, maybe a little bit over here, 8,900 or maybe 9,000, and then close under this level again and possibly go down. But if we are going to turn bullish, we will have to break this and close above here, as I am. The volume right now, I mean, based on BitMEX is still going down, but this cannot be taken with a grain of salt, because BitMEX is not the only exchange with leverage anymore, right? So now you also got Binance, you also got Deribit, Bybit, Duodex, whatever, right? Even on Bitfinex is still going down, right? But this just like possibly that people are leaving these exchanges are just going on different exchanges, the exchanges actually who offer you more customer service. So Bybit and Deribit are really known for this. If you have a slippage or anything on your account, they usually return you the funds and stuff like that. So they're really nice people, really nice supports, right? Ethereum. Well, this one actually played like almost exactly as we expected it, right? We did sadly get missed on our final touch of the buy zone, but the thing is, we did sort of down here. We talked about Ethereum going on 2.0 upgrade. Ethereum also released the new hard fork, and they also did. They're also doing some upgrades right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet because I haven't read about it. But I've just seen in Twitter that the Russian guy, which I don't remember, Vitalik. Sorry, I guess. Excuse me. Vitalik was talking about them. So yeah, they're coming to play. They're going to do some serious drops. Wait, this is. Oh yeah, sorry, we had it on Bitmax because I know. Yeah, it was really close. Uh, Still, for Ethereum, it comes to exactly the same things. Yes, they are going to upgrade their technology a lot, right? So right now, this really now gives us a chance to touch this area, and I would really want to see this area to be touched right now. But again, as I said, this does not make Ethereum bullish, and compared to BTC, Ethereum is a lot less bullish than BTC. So what I mean by that, right? If we go on some chart that has a little bit bigger, right? Ethereum has a long way to go, a long way to go to hit this area, right? 150% to hit the main level, which would actually breaking it would actually make it bullish, and we could start looking for some bigger longs. While BTC, let's just say the main area we're waiting for right now, is only 15% away, or should say 18% of top of the way, right? So BTC is a lot more bullish than Ethereum in the macro looks, right? But the area that Ethereum should have tested it, or has to test it in order to compete with BTC, which is, if it's going to follow in BTC footsteps, is going to be up here, which is 60%. So we still have a probability of pumping for 60% on Ethereum, which is great news in my case, right? Because even if we just take the trade down here and come to up here, right, we still make a lot of money, even if it doesn't turn bullish, right? So it's still fit. So yeah, as I said, we have an algorithm which focus explicitly on Ethereum, and it's doing a fine job. I gotta say, he's hitting the bottoms of the longs, he's beating the tops of the shorts, because if I do recall correctly, we had a trade last night. Ethereum, let me just see a second. Oh yeah, so basically, if I'm not mistaken, we took a short run up here and took the profits down here. I mean, close the short and then switch it around, right? So it is doing a really good job as well. So we have a just bot that just focused on this pair alone, and it's doing great so far. That's basically it for these two pairs. Let's see. Oh yeah, you already answered Gordon for about the Hando. Yes, Hando is focusing a lot on algorithms, and as you can tell, he's doing a fine job. I'm gonna say it again. uh,
Maybe gold for Gordon quickly.
oh, go. Let's see what gold did, Gordon. Actually, yeah, I do remember you asking about it. Where's my gold? Wait, am I blind? Oh, here you get it. Wait, I'm not mistaken. Didn't we short this the last time up here somewhere? Or did I do it on any other chart? Let me just check, Gordon. Why are these charts not saving themselves sometimes? It really pisses me off. I don't have it. Yep, I don't have it on any of my charts. A sec, let me check my black chart. Okay. Yeah, I don't have it. I know we shorted since somewhere, and you might be wondering what this line is, Gordon. And actually, this line is I kind of predicted it, that you will ask for it again, Gordon, right? So this time I came around, and I'm thinking of pulling us. I would be thinking, if I was trading gold, which I'm still not, for some reason, I'm going to be looking for a long around here. I mean, I would be looking for a long around here, right? And it's a small long, nothing too special. Again, I'm not going to take it higher. But if you have a positive frame, trend, then you could take it higher. But if you go on weekly on gold, right, as we discussed the last time, we sort of lost this bullishness a little bit when we went onto this. So I would wait for it to be confirmed after we break this, right? But it's still a nice long, right? The stop wouldn't be too big. It would be put under this wing, and this would be my entry, and obviously then the, this would be my final target around here, or even around here if you're feeling brave, you know. So we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do that, and this time I'm gonna click save again, and hopefully it's gonna save for the next stream, and then we will see what happens, Gordon, right? Uh, Back to chat. So the last stream we also had questions from one gentleman who asked about, if I'm not mistaken, it was a beam BDC.
Beam, yes, that's right.
And I already called this straight out on the channel. Definitely I'm going to expect it to hit this entry soon, as I said. We already mentioned that it could be a small trade around here, if you remember, Arnaud, right? But we
Yeah,
said
yeah.
we're going to skip it because it was already tested by here, right? So right now we're gonna expect it to hit it down here and possibly a reaction all the way to up here, right? But we will see. That was one question. The second trade he had, if I'm not mistaken, it was on ZRX. ZRX, which we haven't called in the channel because at the time we had too many trades open, and it actually hit perfectly and we went to our profit target, making 1.14%, right? Perfect trade, really nice. Right now, if it's going to fail to stay above here, then it's definitely going to go lower, and we will look for another trade, perhaps here, right? Perhaps here, and even lower to down here, where we already been waiting for like, holy shit, September I have these lines, you know. But it's slowly coming. You can see it's slowly coming, right? Alts pretty much as you guessed it, you know, they're still moving pretty slow, like, they're still moving pretty slow. I mean, this one moved heck of a good for an alt, and that's 20% in a week, right? I can't be hating about that, but most of them are still moving quite slow, you know, and are giving us hard times to get it filled, right? Especially when you have a hard time to, on any alt, basically, on Binance, you really struggle to fill like 2 or 3 BTC position and all, right? Oh, hey, Shakib's. Shakib, I think it was actually you who asked for those trades, right?
Yeah,
And
I think.
yeah, so yeah, those trades played out nicely. I do have another trade which I've called out, and it's called Mana or Decentraland Bitcoin. I don't know why it's Decentraland Bitcoin slash Bitcoin. It's called Mana BTC, but I guess okay. Uh, what I'm playing here is a beautiful accumulation area, you know. So I was waiting for this area for a long time, right? It was just accumulating, and then we finally got a breakthrough through this main level around here, right? So when we found this breakthrough, I just immediately set the level down here, and I've been waiting since I think it's around here. So okay, so it was before New Year, so now I can pretty much expect I'm gonna be hit here in the next week, and hopefully gonna get a good reaction, and then we're going to get a nice profit target, obviously, right? Oh, you got some more question for Shakib. How about Bat and Poli? Oh yeah, you were the one with ZRX and Beam. Okay, ZRX already played out, Shakib, and you know, for Beam we're still waiting out, like I said, and probably gonna get hit pretty soon. Hopefully it's not gonna bounce before us, right? Bat.
And
Yes,
body.
let's check out Bat. If I'm not mistaken, Arnold, we do have a trade open on Bat, but I'm not sure of the entry. Yeah, yeah, we do have. Arnold's gonna check that for us quite quickly. Thank you. So for the Bat, already got. I think the trade is set around down here. If it's and it's again same story. You know, it's a nice accumulation area, but it's not. Didn't take as long as the previous one did, right? So what I'm expecting here, that the reaction is gonna be smaller. Shakib, that trade is already called in the 4C channel, so you can check that one out already
Yeah,
in your
we
with
do
your
have.
bot, yeah, in your 4C signals actually, so you can check that one out. What was I trying to say? So yeah, what's the entry for BAT actually? Just the middle entry.
So the entry.
Yes.
The entry is at 2139.
2001 Oh, so okay, okay. Wait, so this one the entry was at 2139. Okay, so I do like this entry, and I'm going to keep. Yes, I'm going to keep it because I was thinking like, wow, I'm gonna wait all the way down here. Yes, exactly. Like this is the entry for BAT. It did bounce a little bit before us, but you know, I'm going to keep this trade, or actually, I'm going to fix this trade. I'm going to fix this trade. I'm gonna place it lower now, Arnaud. So go ahead and you can cancel that trade because we're gonna adjust. We're going to adjust the entry, right? This is gonna be a trade for our entry around here right now. Just for safety, we're gonna move it a little bit lower because we do expect it's gonna drop a little bit under the previous support. Why? Because it has taken out a lot of liquidity down here, right? I'm going to take that into account. That's the second time the liquidity was grabbed down here, so I'm gonna expect it's gonna go a little bit lower, but not too low, right? I'm not gonna expect it to go under this low. Not going to expect it on. So I'm going to just readjust it just a little bit and call this trade yet out again, and this time hopefully we get hit before it bounces like this without us. So basically we got missed here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2%. We actually got missed for 2% because we had the maximum range. We might have even been hit, but you know the trigger didn't trigger, so that happens sometimes. And it was actually a 25% bounce, which is pretty good. When it comes down here, again, it's gonna be some sort of a trade. The first profit target is gonna be around this area. We'll still work this one out, and then the next profit target is gonna be a little bit higher without third profit target. I'm not chasing the moon with alts right now. I'm not chasing the moon with alts right now because they haven't shown me any bullishness just yet, right? Okay, you got your Shakib, so you don't have to worry about this trade. I will call it out in the 4C channel again. So you will see there. Let's check out Poly. Let's see. Oh, Poly. Oh, that one is a little bit on the rough edge. Let me see. Okay, so it's been listed in August last year, or actually 2 years ago, and if you count that it's 2020. And Shakib, I'll be realistic with you, I would not touch this alt, because it is at the new low. So the question now is, what's gonna happen at the new low, right? Because right now, you don't even have a proper, accumulation pattern, right? And if I do remember, Poly was actually a airdrop coin, you know, so it can be a little bit like this, right? So the thing is, right now you should see something like this, right? Maybe a little this, then get this, and a little bit this, and then breakout, right? This could be the beginning. This could be the first part of the beginning, but I'm not gonna count on this just yet without getting the evidence of any future, right? Because at the end of the day, if I tell you this is gonna happen next, it's just a prediction, and we don't do predictions here because they, you know, they are very flawed actually, basically, right? So I would abstain from trading this coin, and the volume is still going down, so would not indulge into this one. Would have to pass it, to be honest, and just wait for any others. It's the coin like we talked the last time. If you also asked me, ONT, right? Let's see if ONT changed anything in the week. You see, it's still doing like this, right? I mean, it's still doing like this, but at least it didn't lose the level. Okay, so it's actually looking nicer than Poly, but I would still not trade it because what do you do with a structure like this, right? We tried it here, it bounced before us, like a little bit, right? I mean, we got filled here, but it didn't bounce. It didn't give us much. It didn't even give us, from that, it didn't give us 10%, right? So, and after all that accumulation and pump and everything, it didn't give us 10%. I am a little bit iffy, right? But it's still holding this support, so unless it loses it, it's good. It's also still good, right? But we still want to see something like this that happened here. But perhaps I'm going to say it, something slower. I don't want to see something like that. I want to see, you know, something like this, right? That would make a lot more sense for price action for us, and then able to trust us higher, right? Yeah. So that was basically it. So oh yeah, we also talked about Tezos, right? Tezos. Oh yeah, so also called out the trade on here, right? Tezos, yep. We first held, if you remember, that was actually 2 weeks back. We had a trade here, and we took a nice profit target here. We closed the entire trade here on the first profit target already because because the volume was going down a little bit, right? On a lower time frame, so we just decided to close it down here, and now we are going to reopen the trade, and it's not looking so great on this graph because we don't have the past, but let's see if I can muster up, because I was checking out the other exchanges for this one. Was it? I think it was Bitfinex. Yeah, exactly like here. See, it's actually perfect. It's one of the strongest level in the entire chart right now, right? So I do expect something a little bit more than just this slow of 11% here. Like, I do hope we at least gonna get to like 20, right, or 25, which is totally realistic in this sort of set. So yeah, I will be indulging this trade. Hopefully we get filled quite soon, and it is coming our way. And right now it's only out for like 7 more, or should I say 5 more% before our first buy get hits. So that is quite good. I will be expecting this trade on. So again, guys, if you got any questions, feel free to ask them. We can do a lot more analysis on these coins, like Shakib here asked. Don't be shy, guys, right? We have stuff to talk. Elsewhere, we can just check some more coins. Veep. For Veep. Well, Veep, if I remember, we had Veep call out and it just missed us here by barely, by like 3 Satoshis, and then pumped quite vigorously. But again, you see, when you got price action like this, right, you're not gaining anything, right? You're not gaining anything, or you're not even losing anything at this point, right? But the thing is, the longer you stay in such a position, right, when you have same highs and same equal bottoms, right, it's just not bullish for the coin, right? Because people are more inclined to give up than to push the price when you see price action like this, right? Especially in a chart who's still bearish, right? So you have to just respect the laws of the trend right here, and just go with the trend, uh, and just go with the trend and just assume it's gonna drop eventually, right? And it's probably is going to drop along around here, down here again. The only question now is, right? Uh, the only question now is it gonna stay above this one, or it's gonna go under this time? Because we did take liquidity off here, and which was quite, I mean, quite close actually, right? Hamze, oh, welcome Hamze. He asks,
Any
any
news
news for
for
TRX
TRX?
BTC? Okay, so as news, I mean, as I spoke in the previous stream, the TRX actually opened their own game, and it's also basically a Ponzi scheme game, right, from Justin Sun. So that's a sad one. And wait, did we not do a trade? Oh yeah, we had one. Okay, so oh yeah, the previous stream we talked about this, right? This trade still remains open, Hamza. This trade is still it's still viable. We didn't call it out yet. Let's see how far it is from our fill spot. Let's see our fill spot. It's still 11%. So we're gonna wait till it gets like down here or something, and then we're gonna call it out, right? Because I do still believe this is a good trade, right? They open their they're open their experimental game, So basically, it's Ponzi scheme game, and as long as I've heard from it, it's not doing really good. So I guess their experiment sort of failed on TRX. Anything else, I don't see a lot of development on TRX, and like I said, it's one of the least bullish. Oh, sorry, this chart is not good, but the chart with a little bit more history, I mean, past would be nice. Judging from this one, right? I mean, it's still not quite bullish as one would say, right? It's actually more bearish, or say it's quite more bearish than any other ones, right? So definitely, I don't know what clear direction TRX has, or if it has any direction at all at this point right now. I'm just not aware of it, right? I mean, if you know anything more, you can basically tell me, but I'm pretty sure TRX has nothing good signed up yet, right? Binance, we took the trade, it actually gave us nice bounce and then came right back down. And I'm gonna tell you how fast the Binance coin came down. It's actually quite worrisome, right? Because they wasted no time into bringing the price actually lower than our entry. Just a couple of hours actually at this point, right? So it was like 3 times to 4 hours, right? So like 12 hours and we were back at our entry point. And this can be good for this coin. Okay, it's still holding the levels like we talked about before, but like when you see action like this and like this rapid decrease in volume, it's just like, again, it's not a bullish action, right? And I know XRP, has one of the best market makers in the business, right? One of the best. So they could most definitely replicate what they did here, because this was market maker driven. Like look at how far they took XRP in like couple of hours, right? I mean, I'm gonna say couple of days, not hours. So they are definitely capable of this, right? But they have to sort of prepare the area for it, right? Because here they actually had a good level to bounce from. They actually You know, they were close to a good level. They were close to a lifetime level. But right now, right here, right, they don't have such measurements like they have here. So right now, here you don't really have so much power. You know, you can still let this price go a little bit lower, and then perhaps do a bounce from one single level. I mean, from the only level left on this chart, right here, and then do a push up right here. But you have to then, if you're gonna do that, you have to gain this one in order to even be possible for you to bring the price higher, right? So it's still the farthest to go. And if you just take our measurement tool, that's still 20% away. It's not that much, but I'm saying if we want to push up here, right, it's 50%, or if we want to push up from here, it's 100% actually. So it is quite a gain, right? But then again, back in the past, they did pumps which were 180%, right? So it is definitely most possible to do this. But like I said, it's going to take a lot of funds from their market maker, and it's going to be very costly because a lot of people, and I do get this a lot, plenty of people, even in my real life, ask me about XRP all the time, right? Uh, even when I go to my local bank, you know, they always ask me about XRP. So the thing is, a lot of people are trapped in XRP, and I can tell you, a lot of people will sell break even when they get chance to sell break even, right? Same goes for Bitcoin. A lot of people who are not so bullish in Bitcoin, or should I say, are not Bitcoin maximalists, are trapped up here. So you need to assume the same thing when Bitcoin is eventually gonna stumble up on these streets again up here, right? A lot of people will sell because they will finally break even, right? So you can expect that the first time we go to 20k again, it's gonna be a big rejection, and then we're gonna break it on the second touch, right? That's basically how do you expect these things to play out, the same for Bitcoin, because again, people are trapped, right? And for Ethereum, as I said in the past, it's gonna be really difficult ever touching $1,400 again, just because they have one big flaw. They're unlimited in supply, and you know, when something is unlimited in supply, even if it's released by little, you know, guays out there, not too much, it's not limited, and people like limited stuff, right? When you have something limited at your disposal, you're gonna buy it a lot quicker than you have when something is unlimited, right? Just because it's gonna even trigger your senses in brain telling you, oh, this might be worth something actually one day, because it's not gonna be able to get it anymore, right? So, do we have any more questions, guys? Any more questions about the coins?
No more question for now.
We can check a couple of vaults.
Let's wait 2 to 3 minutes or so, and
I was actually looking at Ambrose's tomb. It bounced before the field point, and then we just, you know, removed it from a chart. And then actually the second time when it came down, it's actually blowing through the liquidity area, right? And even if the liquidity area was, you know, 5% away on the eye, it looks like it was pretty close, right? So it already grabbed a lot of liquidity down here and closed it out already. So, you know, that was to a reference what I was basically telling before in the chats about the charts. When something comes close and it bounces off, you're worried to stay to stick with the same thing, just to trade, just because the liquidity has already been grabbed at this area, and if it ever returns back down, it can wreck you, right? Okay, so for this trade, we're definitely gonna take one trade more on this one. The thing is about this graph, we thought it was a little bit too aggressive on here, so we didn't take it here, but we're definitely gonna take another one, take a stab at it down here. It is the main level that basically we can argue right now that here was support, was flipped to resistance was flipped to support. It's an area when you would take trades any day of the week, and definitely will be waiting for this one as it comes down here. Just check the stop. If we put it on the VIX 7%, that's not too bad, and it gives us plenty of space to actually maneuver in this trade. So definitely would be saving this one up for the future. Bad we already talked about. It's probably coming down to us. Sorry, we actually we removed the bad today, and we're going to recall it under these new conditions, which are basically a little bit lower than what we had right now, because you know, by a couple of percent lower to what we originally discussed, right? So we will send that one out right after the stream. BNB actually. Oh yes, also have to talk about it. We still have the BNB open, and it did absolutely nothing in the past week. So basically, BNB has been here stuck for 25 days, which is, but the volume is still going down. So I do expect that trade is going to be hit soon here. I mean soon. Again, it can take 25
In
days.
25 days
Yeah,
for you.
so it can take still 25 to 50 days compared to the how much it moved right now, right? I mean, I guess it's not so soon, but it's not too bad either, right? This one, oh yeah, I was watching this trade right here, and I even think that we showed this one on the stream. The only issue about this trade was where do you place the stop, and even if you place the stop in some sensible areas like here or here, right, it's 15%, and you know I don't like 50% stop. It doesn't leave you much meat on the bone, right? So I am not happy about those. So I just decided not to take him, right? Uh, okay, this is one of the ones that we could possibly take a trade on it. So basically, this is like when you see coins like this, right, and you take them on the weekly. Uh, Look at this. I mean, when you see stuff like this, and this is basically their last defense coins, right? Because here on the left side, you gain absolutely nothing. You didn't even gain these levels, right? You just wicked past them and close right under. So there's big chance that even when it comes down here, it's gonna wreck you, right? So nobody's really going to tell you that this is going to hold, right? And the second biggest problem of this low Satoshi coins is when you try to do a stop, everything adds up in high percentages, right? So basically, you just want to place it on here. It's not so far away. Already 30% stop, right? Again, it's not doesn't leave you a lot of meat on the bone. And if you look at it like this, like from here when it bounces, it only gave you 70%. So at best case scenario, you're making 1 for your money, right? Which is, but the accuracy rate is again questionable because we did not gain anything on, like I said, on the daily time frame, right? So when you have a pump like this and you don't gain anything on a daily time frame, well, it makes me worried that this thing can go easily break under here and go lower, right? Wait, DigiDAO. Okay, so still waiting for it to hit this corner, and right now it's trolling me and doesn't want to go under this level. But then again, it's doing exactly the same as the one coin previously when we showed. I think it was like, I don't know, it was one coin after that that has similar price action, right? And this is basically going on for 45 days, and you know, since overall trend on daily still bearish, right? This is not considered bullish, you know. We can expect it to sooner or later drop down when it does action like this, because people will give up eventually. People will give up and just say fuck it, we're not gonna trade this right now, or we're just gonna sell it off, right? Because it's doing absolutely nothing, which is,
If
yeah,
you have any question, guys, don't
yeah,
hesitate.
it's the thing is like this with crypto, you know. It's like people don't have such patience, right? And when you don't have such patience, it doesn't work out. This one was already back here, trade. I sorry, it was right here, and now eventually, like I said, liquidity grabbed, pumped. It didn't gain anything because it was just weeks, and now it's eventually gonna go lower, right? So liquidity is always an issue in crypto. You don't have a lot of space for liquidity, right? It's not like your traditional markets when you have lots of liquidity, like SP 500, for example, right? The index. Look at it go. It still moves, huh? All to this day, it still moves. We're still in the bull market in the real world, guys. Even though everybody in the banks are saying, "Oh yeah, crisis is coming," and they're probably right. I mean, probably right. People are probably right that crisis is coming. But you gotta ask yourself, this can still last for like the next 2-3 years, right? I mean, who can predict crisis at the end of the day, right? Even if you watch the movie Big Short, which is actually a pretty good movie. It was about three guys who shorted the markets big time back in 2008, just not just before, but a couple of months before the whole drop happened, or actually 1 year before the whole drop happened, right? It's quite nice. Yes, they all ended up being huge millionaires out of it. But the thing is, they also almost all went broke because they predicted the crisis too far ahead. So the first guy already predicted it in 2006, and then he shorted it, and he had to pay fees for every month, big fees actually, for 2 years. And his whole office was like, "Bro, you're stupid for holding this short. You're stupid for holding this short, right? And you're gonna make us go bankrupt and everything." And he almost went bankrupt, and then it suddenly turned, and he became a heavy millionaire, right? You know. So even predicting crisis, and when you see it stuff like this, a crisis is coming, like don't even bother about it, like you can predict crisis, you can. And if it's in there's and of course there's gonna be one guy out of a 1 million or 10 million guys who's gonna predict it, and then he's gonna be blessed like, oh, he was always right. No, it's not true. It's just one guy out of 10 million. Okay, even a blind chicken finds a seed eventually, right? That's a really quite saying in my country. Even a blind chicken finds a seed once, and it's the same story with this one, right? Yes, our beloved Ias is doing absolutely nothing. God damn it, God damn it. But it's actually better than the previous action, because this one is actually doing a sort of a little bit of accumulation, not dropping levels, trying to go for higher. But it's not doing higher highs, which is not something I like. If at least the action was something like this, right? That would be a lot nicer. So yes, still a lot of possibilities for these longs to get hit. Let me see how much is that. Oh, 40%. But it's probably not gonna get hit this year. No, I'm just joking. It can it can get hit this year, but it's still a lot ways to go. This was actually nice. See, this is a nice example of a nice accumulation area. Uh, this is nice. You see, you get this low, and then you pump a lot above it, just a little bit, but you only get big, so you didn't really gain. But then you slowly descend. You don't descend like that the previous coin looked like descended in 4 hours. So sorry, like XRP who descended like this, right? It slowly descends, gives you another chance for liquidity. Obviously, this would have stopped you here, and you can't help it. But this was done, I think it was like a minute wick. So basically, even if you have your stop loss set that it doesn't stop you in a minute, right, you would be safe here. But you can't predict this, because this was one big whale who dumped it all. And it went down 22%, and it was basically dumped by one man. Possibly triggered some stop losses and even took it further, but after they did this, they actually redeemed it bullish, and now it's actually, and he wasted a lot of money. If you think about it, he wasted 70% of cash by dumping it all at once here, and it's a stupid move at the end of the day. Never dump like this. I never just market smash a dial or the book, right? Fat. Oh yeah, we had a trade here. Fat trade. It actually turned out to be a loss, because we only moved stopped around here, but we could have closed it. We could have closed it goodly, but we didn't, because we thought it can still go higher. So this was a mistake. And also we didn't close it because the volume slowly started to increase again. But we just thought it's gonna be something more. But Bitcoin was just not stable enough. This was before the Bitcoin pumped the first time. So then it turned us down, and it's actually sent us down to hells, to the last level, which bounced, right? And this one we didn't have, because we didn't know how far the Bitcoin is actually going to go before it's going to turn around, right? And then again, if Bitcoin pumps, alts go down. If Bitcoin dumps, alts go down. But if Bitcoin goes sideways, the alts go up, I guess, right? And also really still the bad guys in this picture, because most of the people I can already see, I can still see that most of the people don't care about them, because even if you check Binance, the volume is keep declining for them on the alts, on the subjects alts, right? And I guess it's gonna keep on declining before anything happens. But perhaps for alts, the only saving right now is if Bitcoin pumps really fast. Sorry, not really fast. If Bitcoin pumps really far, and then starts ranging, and then alts can get their alt run. I'm talking about 200, 300% pumps, because they really could go for 200, 300% pumps right now to even reach their main levels, right? Retest those levels, you sell those alts out again, right? And you enter BTC or you enter anything else, and then everything just goes down again, right? It's just another market cycle that occurs on every market. Basically, the crypto is nothing special to any other markets. It's just the volume is a little bit different at the times, right? You got times when you got really super high volume, but then you also got times when you got super low volume. So you know how it is, right? This is another trade we will take here down here. We are going to take it's 30% away. So again, based on BNB, we still have 50 days to go to hit this one, right? So if we paste it on that one, it's gonna take a while. But yeah, we already been on for like 50 minutes, guys. So again, if you got any questions at the end of the stream, I can still answer them fast and swift,
If,
unless we
if not,
will
I
be
think this
meeting each
is
other next week.
this is about it.
Yep. Also, please do participate in
The form that we will send in the channel tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yep. About the best streaming time, and like I said, basically we may be already be streaming at the best possible times, but we do want to give every man a voting chance, right? So just see if like everybody agrees with the times and everything. Because if we are streaming possibly at the wrong times, then I wouldn't want to be, you know, there's no need for some people to miss the streams. What I'm trying to say, right? So yeah, please do take a vote on that one. Whatever is your time, just choose it, right? I don't
And
think.
see
Yeah,
you next week.
yeah,
Thank you for your attention, guys.
exactly. Yeah,
Don't hesitate to ping us in the chat if you have any
yeah,
more questions.
yeah.
And wish you a good day.
And also, if you want something during the week, you can also ask us in chat and then say if we can cover this on stream. We can also do that. So if you want like
Yeah,
more clear answer about something, just ping us on the chats and just tell us that you would like to see this on the stream as well, and we will follow it up with it and give you a proper explanation in the live, like in the live manner, right, in the voice. Uh, and yeah, they're all options, guys. We are really I mean, not predictable. We are really handy when it comes to this stuff, so we will manage it. Okay, so thank you guys, and then see you next week, right? Bye.